Om. Namaste, welcome again to everybody who, many of you are still here after our first Satsang, and welcome also to our many friends, Sangha from around the world, who are joining us again for this part of our Sunday program, where I get a chance to answer some of the many letters that come each week from seekers from all over the world. And I want to take this opportunity to speak a little bit about this, because as time goes on, we receive more and more letters for this part of our satsang. People are still asking more and more questions. I thought we would be receiving less and less. You know? We should be receiving less and less, because then I think, sometimes people, I say, but I've answered all the questions. No? Of course, you can put your question in a slightly different way, and they say, yes, but mine is a little bit different. I said, no, it's not good enough. If you are genuinely searching for an answer of that magnitude, you will use also someone else's response, and you will just substitute your own problem, because it's not the details that matter, not the details of the story that matter, but really the essential pointing, which is consistent in all of my answers. I'm always pointing you back to the self, not to the person. I'm never pointing to the person. You see, we are very much preoccupied, attached to the notion of ourselves as people only. And nowhere on the planet it seems to be questioned whether this is our eternal identity, or even that if there's anything eternal about us. You see? And so human beings, largely they're thinking that the word eternal is only a kind of spiritual fantasy. So it shows that humankind, we don't know the reality of what we are. And if we don't know this, everything else that we seem to believe that we know is false, it's not. It's based upon the wrong premise, that we are merely flesh and blood and conditioning. And this, myself and many others have found, this is a poor show of really what is here behind the facade of human being. It is also, we can say, there's nothing wrong with saying I'm a human being, I'm a human person, but you are more than that. And I have come here also not to give you a new philosophy about it. I don't feel I have anything new to teach. So many great sages have come before. Wonderful awakened beings from all over the world have come in time. I only come to point out the obviousness, the obvious, and to guide those whose heart are open for that to the ease of self-discovery, you see, and to also to make available to you, to make known to you the love of God, which is everywhere, in all things. So this is my joy, actually, to come and talk about these things, not just to entertain you. I don't want to entertain anyone, but really to meet with beings who are also my contemporaries. We are contemporaries on the planet today. Before us, millions, billions of human beings and other beings have walked on this planet. Their footprints even are gone. And now it's our turn to see if amongst our time the self will somehow reveal itself in these bodies, which we are presently calling ourselves. So I take it as a great joy for me, a privilege, to sit with beings who are called by the same voice, a voice calling you home. Of course, people come at different stages of maturity in their spiritual, you may say, self-discovery. Coming back to the point, I want to ask about the questions, you see, because many people are asking questions, and I feel there's an insistence from many people to have direct communication, like a kind of personal connection with me. This is of no value. I don't want to meet anybody as a person or personally. You see, it would be to miss the grand opportunity, to meet in the spirit of being. And so, I don't believe in all the many questions people talk. They only have to look at someone else's answer and say, aha, I got it. And I thankfully receive also letters from people who say, thank you. When you wrote about this person, I got it. And it's so beautiful, Because if we have to do one by one each person, how much time it will take, you see. So now I say, let's throw a net over the whole thing. Catch everybody. Because we're all the self. I wonder if it is possible, or it is just my own little fantasy that I'm indulging, that all the beings, is it possible that every single being here, if it is in your heart, because if it's not in your heart, then forget about it. It is possible that you don't have any desire for truth, and it comes and kisses you just the same way. It can happen. But if you are only interested in, finding a new partner and securing a job for the future or something, then I don't think you are really a candidate for that freedom. You're mildly curious. But if that were not so, and it was possible that everyone here was open in some way to the possibility of discovering what Jesus Christ has discovered, what Lord Krishna discovered, what the Buddha has discovered, what Ananda Mahima has discovered, what Sri Yogi Ram Surat Kumar has discovered, what Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj has discovered. They've discovered what they discover is present in you, alive right now. And if there's an urge in that direction, then, you can begin to say, thank you for existence. Thank you to existence that I've come in a human form, because in a human form, the consciousness is more likely. It has the potential, the possibility to awaken to its divine source and origin. You see. And we have seen from time to time, it happens in Satsang, that someone somehow flowers into consciousness. A thing that people have thought about, saying, no, it's just some euphoria, it's just some spiritual fantasy. It's only an emotional state, and sometimes it is. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes a true flowering happens, where is not that you become the self, but you stop becoming the non-self. Something just sees through the scam, you see, the thin layer of ego, and peer into the infinite. And that itself, even a glimpse, can trigger such tremendous inspiration in your being that your life cannot be the same anymore. It is that type of greatness I speak about. To simply teach someone how to get over shyness and how to be better in relationships, this is peanuts. You should not worry about this thing. You discover the Lord inside your heart, and everything will go fine. You see. So this is the opportunity that is the grand opportunity, and something that I feel very, very much alive for that. I feel my life is lived for that. I have not found any other subject in the human kingdom that will engage my attention. I'm not saying I am that important. I'm just saying I speak for myself. I have not found anything. And before the discovery of this, I cannot say that I lived a colorless life. I had fun also. But in the rising sun of that awareness, all other things they just fell away into some insignificance, in the presence of that light. And the light that was found here, I see it in everyone. What is amazing is that you don't see it in yourself. You see, so we're here looking together, that whatever seems to obscure that light will be seen through. And I don't believe in fantasies and dreams. I don't have time for that. The reality is far too splendid. It's far too amazing, too magnificent to waste time only on fantasy. You are that reality. But moment by moment, we betray ourselves. We betray the truth by somehow snuggling up with the mind. We will take a little look and see what comes today. I am not promising that I'm going to get through all of these things. We see how it goes. I like it like that. Okay, Amado, Mooji. What's Amado? Huh? Beloved. From which language is this? Portuguese. Ah. Is it possible to become master and disciple being so distant and even speaking different languages? I watch your videos almost daily and feel much love for you. Comme amor. Marisette, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Is it possible to become or to have a relationship master-disciple being so distant? Being so distant. If you think in terms of physical, through the physicalized mind, it may seem distant, you see. But if you feel the connection in the heart, there is no distance. There is no distance, really, not significant. There are some people, I only see them once a year. And when I see them for once a year, sometimes only for 2 or 3 days, or 1 or 2 days. And I don't mean full days, I'm talking about a few hours, But from 1 year to the next, when I meet them, I'm stunned by the simplicity, how much they faded as personality, and how much they're emerging as beingness, And we're not meeting, we're not chatting on the phone, we're not having Skypes every day. Some of them don't even know how to use Skype. So what has happened, you see? And sometimes these connections are deeper than people who I'm seeing almost every day. You see? And even speaking different languages. We have good translators now. We have good translators now in different languages, because language is not really a barrier, Sometimes we've had satsangs, I remember, quite often in India, and now as I talk, I remember even one woman, she was coming to satsang the whole season of satsang. It's like 3 months, never missed one satsang. And she doesn't speak any English at all. Just, thank you, nothing more than that she can speak. Okay? And one day, she's from Italy, this one I'm talking now, there are many others. And one day I asked her, why do you come? Through an interpreter, the translating. And she says, I cannot not come, because I don't understand your words, but something inside here is growing so powerfully, because this is good. Even sometimes animals come to satsang. They love the the atmosphere. They love the stillness. They respond to something energetically. They don't speak English. No? Some animals do, no? But it's not that they understand. Energetically, they say, yeah, I like it here. Not all of them. You see? Not all of them. Yeah? Like some dogs may really love satsang, others, they can't bear it. They can't do it. And we had before our donkey, if some of you might remember, the donkey called Vibhuti, totally loved satsang. Used to watch every satsang. Watching her. And was not just looking, just watching and listening and understanding something. And then when she had sometimes some difficult things, she And they showed me one time I was abroad, I don't know if I was in Russia or something, and the donkey was there. They sent me a picture of the donkey looking at the thing, and she even filmed it. The whole satsang, watched the whole satsang, watching. And then sometimes, like when she was, like sometimes she really became so, like this, and she peed actually, out of spiritual joy. Even some people do that as well too, a little bit. So I watch your videos almost daily and feel much love for you. There are some people maybe we never even meet in physical way, but the connection is very pure. You see, distance is not so. Physical distance is not so important. Beloved Mooji, I just want to say thank you. My only question is, how can I remain in that pure state? It must be also transcended? That I'm asking, was it Dana? I don't know, Dana. How can I remain in that pure state? Nobody can do it. Nobody can do it. If you're a person, you cannot do it. Only a non-person can do it. The person cannot do it. The person cannot do anything all the time. It's a very restless state. Should I tell you something? There are no persons actually. It's just consciousness pretending actually. Okay, I said it now. When you realize that you are consciousness, then you realize you're not staying in the pure state. That was just an idea. That you can only be what you are. Suppose your name is John. Somebody say, how can I stay as John? You say, what? It sounds ridiculous. That's how it sounds to me when someone say, how can I stay as myself? So, really? Who gave you this idea, And how can I remain in that pure state? It must also be transcended, you see? Yes, this idea that you must stay in a state, that idea must be transcended. It's not easy to... It's almost as though we are speaking two different languages. The language which comes from the heart, which is so straightforward, so simple, and the language which comes to the mind. For me, there's only two languages, really. The language which comes from the heart and the language which comes from your mind. The mind has a lot of complexity. Like I say, the truth is simple, but the seeker of truth is complex. And this complexity is always getting in the way. But the truth is not complex. Because truth is not a concept. So therefore, opinions cannot touch it. The truth is a spirit, like we are spirit. Hello, Mooji. I had many experiences of being totally still. But my mind has been memorizing everything about them. So now I only feel frustrated and I feel like my mind will always win the battle. Thank you, Mario. I have had many experiences of being totally still, but my mind has been memorizing everything about them. So the mind is kind of, knows how to be still, actually how to be still. You see? And making stillness into a technique. So your mind is, I show you how to, not like that. See like this, and breathe. And don't think. You see? So the mind can say anything, but why do you have to follow? Suppose you have a mind that says all kind of things. It tell you, hey, you're stupid, you're so ugly. Look at you. You're never gonna be awakened. You're too fat, or whatever it wants to say. And you, oh my God, oh my mind. I wish I could stop my mind. You don't have to stop your mind. You stop feeding your mind. It can say all kinds of things. It's like somebody comes to you on the street and says, "Excuse me, can I borrow your right kidney?" You say, "What's this crazy guy?" Like that. You would laugh, no, or something. But if you want to say, "How dare you? How dare you ask me for my," he said, "That's going too far." The mind is also suggesting lots of things like this. Why you pay so much attention to it? Because you believe it, we believe it, and so you believe it into existence, and it feels really real for you. It's just like that. It's not anything different. So the mind is memorizing everything, right, about being still. So now I only feel frustrated, and I feel like my mind will always win the battle. If your mind wins the battle, how will it celebrate? Without you? Will it celebrate without you? The mind, can it exist without you? Does the mind have its own life or something? It's self-employed, it works for itself, and it just hitches a ride in your head, beats you up, and runs away with your jewels. You see, we believe many things like that. Mario. Thank you for letting us know that in every moment there is grace. I was twisted with regret from hurting someone I love, but not staying as the self. This is great motivation I see. It's bitten me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you completely because you are not a you. Thank you, Hollis. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you for letting us know that in every moment there is grace. I was twisted with regret from hurting someone I love by not staying as the self. This is great motivation, I see. It's bitten me. I don't know how to. You understand that? I don't. I was twisted with regret from hurting someone I love. This much I understand. By not staying as the self? Because of being a person. But the one who, if someone is hurt by your own ignorance, if they are beyond that, they won't be hurt so much. You see? Bless you. Isn't it? Okay, maybe Hollis will explain that a bit further for me. I don't know what it means. Dear Mooji, I see the truth. One must still the mind. One must still the mind. You can't still the mind. Try and still the mind. Try and still him. He likes it, Yeah, come on, still me. Oh. You can't still the mind. The mind itself will love. Okay, come on, still me, come. And you do everything and you'll be still for 5 minutes. That's very long for the mind. And then up again. So how are you going to still the mind? When you pay attention to what you really are, to the one who is aware of the mind needing to be still or something, and not bothering about it, and pay attention only to yourself. You see? Then the mind has no other place to go but to collapse into the infinite. That's how you still the mind. To still the mind once and for all, one's mind must see the truth. How can one break out of this seemingly never-ending vicious cycle and realize freedom? Please help. Thank you, Anjali. To see the truth, one must still the mind. No. To still the mind once and for all, one's mind must see the truth. No. You give so much power to your mind to discover, then my mind must see the truth, my mind must do something. And I said, you are still, and if the mind doesn't want to cooperate, what are you going to do? Come on, mind, come, let's just be still now, be still. No, I don't want to be still. I want to go party. No, but I want you to be still. And this is a relationship of real suffering, isn't it? How are you going to just still the mind? You must know the difference between yourself and the mind. You can be without the mind, but the mind cannot be without you. Sometimes we think we are the mind, and somehow it seems like there's an overlap, and we're not quite sure which part of this is really me and which is like this. For a little bit. But mind merely means just thoughts and feelings and the play of the intellect in a psychological way. This we call the mind. How can one break out of this seemingly never-ending vicious cycle? There is no never-ending vicious cycle unless you believe in it. Isn't it nice what I'm saying? Come on. I mean, a little feedback. Or go on, suffer forever, trying to calm your mind, calm. Let the mind, you must be so yourself in the true, that your mind wants to join you. He just says, look, it's no use fighting him. I might as well join, because that's what happens. It cannot win, it just joins you and just it comes and it joins. You try and do something, it excites it just, Still the mind, forget about it. You don't give too much importance to that. But as long as you keep believing you're a person, you cannot still your mind. The agitated mind and the agitated person, they go together. You have to find out, am I any of them? You get it or not? Okay. Beloved Master, this morning the bird flew free out of the cage made of love. In the midst of the movie, accompanied by lots of clear and loud voices, I heard you whispering, attention. I followed your pointing. The dream is over. The fear of death is no more. What else can I say except thank you, thank you, thank you? Pretty good. This morning the bird flew free out of the cage made of love. You got it? A cage made out of love, you see? Yeah, if love becomes a cage, you need to fly out from that one. In the midst of the movie, accompanied with lots of clear and loud voices, I heard you whispering, attention. I followed your pointing. The dream is over. The fear of death is no more. Very good. Dear Mooji, I have but a short time on my journey to enlightenment, and I am respectfully requesting your insight into my question. On several pages on Facebook, I have seen postings of you embracing young, attractive girls, women, and my mind wonders if it is just an embracing or is there intimacy in those embraces. And I question if it is the ego recalling past sexual memories on my part. Is the ego capable of being so deceptive? And most important, how do I overcome the negative thoughts that are brought up? Again, with respect, I thank you for your guidance and enlightenment. Namaste. Alekos. Alekos B. Alekos B. You know this person? Okay. So on several pages on Facebook, right? I don't have a Facebook, by the way. I know there's a Mooji something on Facebook, but I don't know about these kind of things. I have seen postings of you embracing young, attractive girls, women. And my mind wonders, but some of these young girls, women, they have beards as well, and some of them, but I don't think you noticed that they were. My mind wonders if it is just an embracing or is there intimacy in those embraces. I call somehow the connection, many times. In like Monte Sahaja, for instance, we don't know anything about each other. I don't ask people, what is your story, what is your background, how many sisters you have, what have you done before. We don't need that. We don't go into personal stories. And it is such a healthy environment, and people feel very relieved of that, you see, because you don't have to keep on qualifying who you are, and this is what I am, this is what I did, and nobody really cares that much about it. And there are people who have been with me, moving in this space for years. I don't know if they've got brothers and sisters or they were married or not. I don't know anything about them, particularly. It doesn't sound very nice, because sometimes you need to know for some reason, but we don't feel that it's so important like that. And yet there's a deep love amongst all the beings there. But we call it, and is it intimate? Yes. I call it an impersonal intimacy. We are not wanting anything from each other. We're not exploiting each other. So there's really a freedom. There's really a joy and openness. We don't have, it's just this. People have come only for freedom. And freedom is what we share, is what our life. And love, true love, unconditional love, this is the climate that we live in. I remember one time at Zimar, at the end of a retreat, where many people were coming on the platform like this and taking pictures together. I was sitting there like that. And somebody walked up behind me. There was like 15 people at a time coming on the platform. And somebody whispered in my ear, something like, you're always surrounded by all these beautiful women. Look, who said this? You? I said, you see all this, you are seeing just women. What's on your mind? I see beingness. If you want to find out, go and talk with them. Ask them what is their relationship with me. I think if that's how you see them, you insult them. The beings around me are deeply wise. They're wise, and they are totally in service to the true. One time we went to one party in my town, and a few of the women, beautiful women, whatever you want to say. We went to a party, and I saw they went to the party, and in the middle they start dancing, and they're dancing like this, And I saw this lineup of guys looking at them, sort of like, So one of them came and says, are they with you? Like this. So so I said to him, listen, you don't stand a chance, They're not who you think they are, mate. Okay. My very dearest teacher, Mooji, there is no divide. Nothing can come between hearts. No big pond, or ranger of mountains. Received your welcome words today at a moment when I least expected. Tears, as always, of profound joy fill my heart at all of the pointing and confirmations that you impart. That I should be so blessed to have encountered you in this lifetime. I am on my knees with my head at your feet. There are no words that could ever express the depth of my gratitude. John Ferry, Duncan, British Columbia. Wow. Somebody know? Okay. Very nice. John. What happened? Who? John? Beloved Mooji, there is nothing but gratitude and love for you, for the truth that has been revealed in self-inquiry. There is this deep, silent stillness that I am. There was a time when this dark void frightened me so much, but with your help, there has been this extraordinary discovery of being this silent spaciousness. So, the question is, what is it that finally somehow matures so that the only question of importance is, who am I? What is no longer interested in either internal or external wars, horror, or conflict? What is it that matures or falls away? You are my own heart, and there is simply love here for you always. In gratitude always, Alison from South Australia. What is it that finally somehow matures so that the only question of importance is, who am I? What is no longer interested in either internal or external wars, horror, or conflict? What is not interested in these things? What is it that matures or falls away? Just you outgrow certain modes of thinking. When we are a person, when we live in the mode of a person, the person has many things that they like or they dislike, they want or they don't want. Many favorites, many things that we are invested in, so many things. It's a very busy world and not stable because we keep changing our goals and our ideas keep changing. And necessarily, unavoidably, we can't stabilize any of that, including ourselves. So it's a very restless and unstable realm, the realm of personhood. So, as one matures towards the truth or in the truth, naturally and spontaneously, the mind becomes clean without scrubbing. It just lightens up. And the environment is refreshed again. It's like you press the refresh button and things just are fresh again. And then you see that all the things you previously thought were coming out of your state rather than was coming from the world. Because there is no single one view of the world. If there are 20 people, they will have 20 different views. Sometimes you can just see, like, just the football World Cup just finished not long ago. And you can have one match, just one match is playing. But 50 or 100 commentators are commenting about it. And everyone is giving a feeling of a different match. Yet the match is one. So the mind is like that. Whatever it is whatever it is. But each mind, depending upon your conditioning, your programming, your identity, your support, whatever it is, you will give a different reading of what it is. So which reading is true? Which commentator's commentation is the accurate one? None of them. Everything is subjective. You see? And then we are putting this subjectivity, this kind of personal subjectivity, like it is a kind of fact. It's not a fact. It's all fiction. So you ask, what is no longer interested? The beingness is recovering from somehow the hypnosis of conditioning, and recovering again. It's pure light. It's pure sanity, so to speak. So these things fall away. Dear Mooji, I hope you will address my letter. I really need some guidance. I have written to you in the past, and each time it is something different. Exactly. This is why I am writing now. One moment I'm feeling very connected and so clear. The next moment I feel utterly lost. So lost that I feel like I am going to die. I watch all this happen. Things are shifting within me very quickly. I have understood your teaching about how I am not any of those things because I can see them. I am that which witnesses. I do feel that, but perhaps I have not understood. I have only understood with the mind because I keep getting carried off with the mind. My self-image gets destroyed and then a new one sprouts. I am tired. I feel stuck. Then I remember that this is also observed, but something still gets pulled in. Please comment on this. I listen to you all the time and feel that I understand your teachings very well, but it feels like I keep getting pulled into some circular repetitive pattern of clarity and then identification again. I just want to rest in truth. What can you suggest I do to stop this cycle? What can you feel energetically from this letter? Thank you for your time, Brian. What can I feel energetic from this letter? You are confused, no? Energetically, you'll be confused, and because all your energy is directed to the wrong thing, to identity. And if you solve this week's mess caused by identity, for sure there will be another bunch next week. We know it. So why not come out of the whole lot? Then you ask how to do it. I say come to Satsang, if you can come. And as much as possible be immersed in this type of what I call the energy field of Satsang for a while. Because you ask things that seem like it's requiring a kind of verbal answer or direction or guidance, but then you're not able to follow really this guidance, you see. Sometimes you need more than just verbal answers, you know. Sometimes you just need to be there. You just need to just be inside the waters of your own self and not just be too much thinking and working things out, and just come. Sometimes I say to people, just come and keep quiet. You see, just like that. Because they imagine they're going to have to do a lot of techniques and we're going to do lots of breathing and lots of all this type of stuff. And I said, no, you've been breathing all your life. I think you've got the hang of it by now. I don't think you have to do anything like this. So energetically, when I look at it, I don't feel inclined even to read it again. It's like, I feel tired when I read your letter. You see? And sometimes also people here, sometimes you're talking to people and they fall asleep. I fall asleep quite a lot when people talk to me. Because why? Not because I don't like you or something, but it's boring. And because you talk about, yes, and I went to this place and I met this person. You see? And it's good that somebody fall asleep when you're talking to them so that you get the message, Keep quiet or something like that. Because I don't want to fall asleep, but I can't help it. If you talk so much, I want to do this, and after this, I want to do that. And then energetically, your words and your presence has lost its power. Because we use the mind too much. You're thinking too much. You're thinking too much personally. You're living your life too personally. And so your power has drained out and just become noise. You see? Then you ask more instructions. I don't want to give you more instructions if you can just turn them into more words again. So you have to come and just be for a while. And sometimes you sit in a space like this, and for a while you may feel intensely confused, even more confused. You see? But then I may see in that confusion that at least, it's like something is moving and you're feeling very stuck. And sometimes you have to become so totally stuck you can't even move. You see? And then something breaks open. So sometimes we're not the best evaluator for our own, of where you really are. You have to come to a space where, the space is given to you. It's not you can come for an awakening and you put money on the counter, get your awakening and go. So I would say like that. When I read, I feel I don't feel so much to give. Yeah, well, you must do this and do that. It's already too rich. Your words and what you have to share is already too rich. And it's like, even to go over them again, it's too heavy. So I'd rather you just become empty. First you have to become empty. When you're empty, you see, like this, something's fresh, and you find that nothing is missing. When you're full, you still want to get even more full. It's just a habit. When you're empty, you feel, I don't need anything at all. Something feels complete, not lacking. Beloved Sri Mooji, beloved Master of my heart, your quote of the day of the 10th of September touched me deeply. A question I had comes up again. Who is praying to God? Is God praying to God or ego? Is it that club of body, mind, emotions, remembering, that pool of conditionings, of old human stories, of delusions, identifications, and so on? Is that what is praying? Maybe you're asking. Until grace one day touches our life so much that even these 4 old guys are kneeling down in surrender, praying their last prayer. Kill us, merge us, melt us into your light. Are they so fulfilling, these old Bible words, which says, I am dying in order you are living? I don't understand. I don't remember hearing that. Do we find in that spirit the secret of life? I am dying in order to give you life, maybe, I don't know. But I've not heard this like this. I don't think you're quoting the Bible right. Yes, that is true. The love between a master and his student can't be compared with the love we ever felt in our human life. I love you so very much, more than human words can describe. With big gratitude, I am yours, LK, from Germany. So a quote on the 10th of September touched me deeply. A question I had comes up again. Who is praying to God? Is God praying to God? Don't take up these questions too much. Who is it that's praying to God? Is it God is praying to God, or is the ego praying to God? Or is God praying to the ego? Or is God praying to God as the ego? And is the ego pretending to be God, praying to God? Don't get into that so much. You see, if you have a natural, come like a child. A child just says, please help me, or something. They don't have sophisticated ways of putting things. And immediately, something rushes to respond to their plea, like that. So start there. You want help? Say, help me. I don't know what kind of help I need. I just feel like I need help. So God knows what kind of help you need. So leave it to God. Just say, help me. I am confused and I am so full of bad thoughts. Please help me, take them away. Something will come. Not maybe in the way that you expect, but something comes. Or sometimes something doesn't come. But whichever way, there's an answer in it. What will happen is that it makes you much more sensitive, more alert, more alive to the subtleties and the ways in which the divine communicates to itself in the form of person. For a while it is like that. So they were asking, is it that club of body, mind, emotions, remembering, that pool of conditionings, of whole human stories, of delusions, identifications, and so on? Is that what it is that is praying to God? There are more intimate questions than that. Sometimes we're asking a question, but if it is answered, it still don't bring you any closer to the real goal. It's just food for the mind. It might sound philosophical or spiritual, but it has no vitamins, no nourishment in it. It's just another kind of, it's coming from the mind even. You see, when you ask a question that really has your heart in it, then this question, even when I read it on paper, it moves something inside and compels it to pay attention. It says, pay attention to this one somehow. And you feel it energetically. You see, we must not rely only on verbal language or on a written word. I have, letters in London. I had a letter in London that now is maybe about 11 years. I don't open it. I just feel I don't want to read that. And it's not from the government. It's not like one of those. It's just from somebody, and I just feel, I don't feel the vibration. I don't know, just read this stuff. Because somehow it's not there. And at a certain point, you may start to realize that when you speak with people, there's a listening is taking place on another level inside. That is not trying to figure out anything. It's just you hear in a different way. And this happens to quite a number of people, They start to feel life more energetically. They don't just listen to the words that people say. They feel their presence, they feel the strength, they feel their spirit, and something responds to that. You see? Dear Mooji, there is something inside of me stuck in a trap, thoughts, and I don't know how to get away. It makes me feel unable to do anything, including finding lasting peace. There is also a strong sense of frustration, and although I've tried asking who is frustrated, I can't keep separate from the constant noise in my head. I feel so tired. For a while, I even thought that by making myself as tired as possible, I would eventually give up all my efforts and find peace. This has caused that. On the occasion when I have found that real sense of freedom, my selfness, deep gratitude and compassion, a voice shows up and says that it is false, and I am imagining how it feels from hearing and reading so much about it. You see, like that. So it's like a voice comes, in the middle of your meditation or whatever, and the voice just says something like, you're just imagining it. It's not true. Okay? And immediately you're broken. Oh, no, my mind. It seemed ridiculous, no? That a voice. Whose voice is it? Where did you come from? Who sent you? You see? Why don't you check it out? Where is this voice? Where is this voice? No, maybe, but because you've listened before, and before that also, and before that also, you listened. We are somehow, you may say, conditioned to listen to this voice, even though it hurts your heart or something. But you have to overcome this voice also. Your videos have given me hope that I can do it and there can be peace now. That would be wonderful. When you think when the feeling I or I am comes, recognize it as consciousness. Don't say it is a person. The worst thing you can do is to convert the sense I am, which is the godly principle and voice and presence inside you, and take it merely to be a person. Because when you believe you're only a person, you see, then everything becomes personal, and then it becomes a mess. No, I am consciousness. Know yourself as consciousness, you see. And the mind will have a very difficult time to try and convince you to be a person. Because if you're a person, it can have a field day with you. If you're being a person, the mind will play many tricks with you. But if you're consciousness, you catch him every time. You see. I'm deeply grateful for all the love you give to the world. Even though it is difficult for me right now, I hope to attend a Satsang someday. Sincerely, Celine from Venezuela. Dear Mooji, I've been listening to your words for some years now, and I want to thank you for being here now. Recently, I have recognized that my attitude has been one of a victim for a long time. Poor me, the world is against me. As I could see this, I have started to change my attitude towards life, one that is more open and accepting. The world is for me. I can often feel a yes in my heart in different situations or when I'm just alone, but not always. I am quite relaxed about that. I have a feeling that I am on the right track, if there is such a thing as right and wrong. But it is my feeling. I mean, I am becoming more and more myself. I am every day learning something that I am not. Something that I was told that I am. In the pure state, nothing is personal, and there is not even a sense of a separate me. So this must be a dream. And in the dream, I believe myself to be all of this. When it comes down to it, I feel like I have no questions. I already know. I just wanted to share this. I say yes in my heart. I am open for grace, because I, as a person, cannot direct the course of life. Thank you, Mooji. Love from Torva, Joanna. You're okay? You can handle another one or two? Mooji, after I hit periods of deep meditation, mental bliss, inner peace and contentment, my mind then resorts to chaos, plans, wills, which literally feel beyond my control. Then the divine takes over in my unconscious state, and something happens suddenly that I do not want to happen as a result of my unconscious rushed action. This causes me suffering. You mentioned this world as a divine play, and that phrase definitely resonates in my being. Mainly the idea that we really don't have that much control. My question is, do you find it possible to gain more control over what is happening in your life? I don't want any control over what's happening in my life. I do get tired of the unexpected and frustrating things that happen. No, there's no frustrating things that happen. Things happen and you get frustrated. You see? We must be clear about these things. Is it possible to maintain such a high state of awareness that we finally stop compromising ourselves? Yes. Or is this really just part of the divine play and we need just submit to the higher powers? Yes. I know you are a man as I am. I am just very frustrated with myself and many aspects of my life. I don't know why I have such desire for controlling over my life. That's why you're unhappy. You're trying to control the life. You're trying to control life. It means that you're afraid of life. And you feel that life is just going to become something too heavy by itself. And this is completely a trick of your mind. I don't know why I have such a desire for control over my life, but it feels natural to have that desire. Thank you, John. To control means you are afraid. You don't trust also. And you don't trust because you have not given space in your life that trust can show itself. Because it is there, you see. Each letter like this, we could read 10,000 of them. What is going on? What's going on? That human being can be so frustrated. Why? Too much identity. One time I was walking, I was talking, and I say, how many people they say is here now? Nearly 8 billion. My God, 8 billion. If it's 8 billion bodies, it's quite a lot, really, no? But if it's 8 billion egos, oh my God, this is too much on the planet. You see? The body, the world being populated with bodies is not such a, it's okay. But with ego, oh my God. Multiple suffering. I think it's a matter of some emergency. Or we should regard it as such, that you find the truth of yourself. What a beautiful thing to happen. Then you don't have to go out and preach to the world. You don't have to. Just be. And see what happens. Just in your orbit, beings are pulled in to somehow to feel the perfume of real existence. You see? Very dear Mooji, first, so many thanks for all your Satsang YouTube clips that I can enjoy almost every day. It is the best that happened to me in my life. Second, could you help me to be out of the dream, meaning being awake to that, what really is, as you are explaining so well and trying to communicate? Because, as I know, hoping for it shows to the future, and the future is not now, not here. Maybe I just focus on reality or God every moment that I do remember, knowing that the I that wants so badly to remember what really is, would you say, is only an illusion. Or maybe I just be and trust life will arrange for it. Of course, If not, I would want to come see you in Portugal or London. I live in Mexico and have a family and I'm working. My family is not very keen on having a spiritual mom and wife. But I am 100% sure that to be able to be that, to be what is, or to see what I really am, would be so marvelous for me as well as beneficial for everybody around me. What a champion attitude, isn't it? What a champion attitude, huh? Hoping and trusting in God and also in you. Also, many thanks for everything you already have shown to me. Kind regards, Monica Engel, Engel. I love this letter. No? I love this letter because it's full of power. It's got, you see, not, oh, what's happening? I don't know. So, no, I mean, yes. My family is not very keen on having a spiritual mom and wife because they don't know what it is. They just imagine you're going to be walking around with crystals on your head and stuff like this. And, sort of blowing a didgeridoo. So they don't know what it's going to be. But a truly spiritual person, someone who's wise and knows somehow, not knows ahead how to mother your family, but knows in the moment, because then God is mothering through this body and fathering through this body. You see it. You see? And then what may start out in the beginning, resistance, because when people, they're afraid of something new. Especially we have an idea of who we think you are. And if you move away from this idea I have of who you should be, for me, then something doesn't feel comfortable. It's very selfish, really, you see? So, but she's not having it. She says, but I am 100% sure that to be able to be that which is, to see what I really am, would be so marvelous for me, as well as beneficial to everybody around me. I just feel that's just wonderful. Yeah? Hoping and trusting in God and also, it's so beautiful, you see? So be it. Dear Mooji, I need some words of wisdom to guide me. I quit school, such was the calling for truth. The confidence emerging from this as such a power that I threw everything into the abyss of the self. I gave myself away completely. My pockets are empty as I am blown by the sweet kiss of God itself. I don't really have a question, rather a request for some guidance. How can I justify being home all this time? I left school in May and not doing anything at all while my family circumstances are not the best. Before, I would say that in such a situation I would get a job to contribute and not to be at home, not doing anything and still seeing things not going so well here. And such is also the seeing of my family, which is perfectly understandable. How can you be home, quit school, and you don't even get a job to help your family? Yes, why you should be sitting around watching TV all day? Everybody is trying to do something and you're sitting around being spiritual. You see? Something is not right about it. The thing is, I am incapable of doing it, not out of laziness, but because something does not allow it to happen. The language of the vital force, as you sometimes call it, is here and is pulling me into this more and more, asking me to trust it and to stay with it. I know this one is true. Still, I ask you, how do I justify this to my family? What do I say without sounding crazy, arrogant, non-caring, etc.? Some words would be appreciated. Much love, David from Portugal. Well, either they throw you out or something. At some point it may happen like that. or you go through this, because if you feel truly inside your heart, and you're not just being lazy about it, but that something just holds you and you're unable to go out and do something. I know this thing also. It can happen like that. Not in every case, but it can happen. That somehow the motivation is not there to do anything. I remember also prior to this thing that took place for me, I was working on the streets of London as a portrait artist, And it was a good way, good living, because I was free. I can do what I want, And I was okay at making portraits, and quick, and doing really well. Then life changed, And then somehow I'm moving in this new way, but deeply, deeply in love with whatever it is, God, true, something, but no money coming in. And if I can say, I was even staying with my sister in those days, and we shared a place. She's so beautiful, and she said, no, you come stay with me. I was staying there in this house together, but she was working, and we had a kitchen, and we had a big cupboard, and we had 2 shelves for me and 2 shelves for her, and her shelves always full of things. My shelf had nothing on it, is it? Like this. And sometimes I would feel, I feel a bit hungry and I said, I wonder if I can just take, 1 biscuit and stuff like this from her. And I would ask her, Julie, can I take one of your biscuits? And she would feel deeply embarrassed, Why you ask, how can I say anything? Just do it, But I know it was wrong. I felt, no, I'm not to do this. Something inside told me, I'm not to do this, And it was such a powerful time of learning, because I always felt I'm not interested in money. I don't have any interest. I'm not a saver. I don't really care about it. But really, I had no money. When some people say they don't have any money, they still have, 500 euros in the bank somewhere. I had nothing. You know what I mean? I was shaking my pants to see if some coins drop out, looking at my shoes, if maybe some coins, nothing like this. For a bit it was like that. But I'm saying this to you because it should be a scary story in some way. But it was so powerful for me. It was so powerful. It's such a transformation, something. You see? I would say this is one of the richest part of my life. This part. You see? And so the part I want to tell you is that now there was this feeling of not being able to do anything. I just could not feel it. I couldn't see it. It's like the life that I used to live seemed very far away. You see? And then once I asked one of my brothers, like, can I borrow five pounds from you? And he says, I don't understand. He says, you have all this talent, you have all this talent, this ability to make a lot more money than me. Why don't you go out and you got your things, why don't you go? All your friends are there, everything is there. I felt so ashamed that he spoke to me like that, because I knew in my heart I could not go. It's finished. If I took a pencil, it just be too heavy, because something was not cooperating. I'll be looking for a rescue, you see, to come out of this. But God gave me poverty for a while. You understand? And with poverty, I became rich inside. Something, no? So don't count on what you think it will be, you see? So here it says, now I'm reading, you have to stop your contracts. Stop making contracts with the Supreme. You give me this, I do this for you. You cannot do anything for it. You just have to somehow come and say, look, thy will be done. And, I'm up for it. No? And remember the magnificence of life and the greatness of opportunity. You see? That it's not about being safe and having a nice thing. It's not about this. You are the eternal existence. You okay, if you want to put it, you're a child of God. You're not the stepchild of God. Huh? something in us must take courage, and just say, I'm here. If I'm going to die in the skin from lack of food, because I've said to God, I trust for you, then I'll die. You must have some courage inside, because then you put the mind to the test, because the mind is always putting you to the test. You tell him, now, defeat me now. Frighten me so that I will run away from God. You do it, you see, and see what he can do. You see? So this is why I'm so happy, because I can look at this thing and say, don't worry about it for now. Maybe some people maybe misjudge you a bit because you're maybe afraid of judgment. So this may come up also, but in the grand scheme of things, everything is fine. You cannot always play and dance to other people's tunes. Sometimes you have to find your own rhythm. And then sometimes you have to dance to everybody's tune also. That's kind of okay too. Your life cannot be so predictable. A life that is so predictable is dead. There must be some surprises somehow. No? How you can wake up in the morning and know what your day is going to be like? No, you can wake up and know it's going to be magnificent, whatever. But to say, yes, at 11 I'm going to do this and so on, so I have to do this and all day, and somehow, unless you are completely grounded in the spirit, then you will not be afraid of anything. Every part of it is good. You see? They say, listen, we are taking you to jail for not paying. Oh, jail? Okay. You go, and then jail will be the greatest adventure. You'll be the greatest prison in the world. You'll be happy. You say, why are you so happy? So I don't know, actually. Whatever. I'm not bluffing about it. Oh, dear. Beloved Guruji. Okay, I'll try again, okay? Beloved Guruji, having this privilege of being in your presence and hearing your pointing, I'm finding myself writing to you in this way. I want to tell you the most true discovery taking place is I am here. Beyond every idea, concept, belief, I am here. It's so complete. What can I offer you back? When what you offer is so immense, the only thing I feel capable right now is to merge in you. Where love burns what doesn't belong to me, and the recognition of the true I emerges. I can also see sometimes these emotional feelings that still kind of cover the I amness and try to sell me an illusion, an illusory sense of aliveness. And that, to be honest, I buy in sometimes. I get distracted. It's okay. But truly, only your pointing of seeing from the self I wish to see. This one, you see, this one. Yeah. Nothing is going to stop this one. You see? It is not going to stop this one. I also want to take this opportunity to say I am so grateful to you. Only you have truly shown me what life is, unfolding in such a more simple and fresh way, magic and wider than my mind could ever imagine. Infinite thanks to you, beloved Guruji. With so much love, so much gratitude and openness, in your presence at your feet, Shankari. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Because at a certain point, life is no more struggle. It's just joy. Is you? It is true? You better sit down and tell me something. It is very good. I am so happy. You see, energetically, now, you read, I don't feel I need to worry about you. I don't feel to worry about you. Because something here, you've found something. You're in the, you don't go off. Sometimes I say, don't go off into the tiny veins. Stay in the main artery. What it means, the main artery. Don't go off into the cul-de-sacs of the mind, little things. No, stay into the big space. Stay on the highway of yourself. Don't get lost in the tiny roads. You see? And everything is fine.
Yes. At the same time, something is a little bit surprised. I've just really merged in you since the first times I met you. Something has changed. I know it.
I know it also.
And I can't understand, but it's really magic.
Yes. Yes, it's magical. It's magical.
And sometimes I really wonder what can I give you back, because it's really so immense what you offer.
For me, it is enough just to see you free. That is enough reward for me, to see a human being being set free from the hypnosis of conditioning.
And yes, I can feel my heart bumping. But that's not what you show, it's the most important. This one is just here.
Yes.
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 True. It's what
From the first time I saw her, I felt this fire, like something is just fighting and it's fighting to come out of, like something's trying to hold you, and you're fighting to come through. So to see something emerging now, from wriggling caterpillar coming, butterfly coming out, is beautiful, amazing. Because we see how mind can be, how full of delusions it can become, and you start to believe, But then you find someone who is just not content with that, who is just not going to have it, not going to accept a mediocre life. You're going for gold, I tell you, go for gold. Don't ever go for silver or bronze. Go all the way, you see. So when I feel someone moving with so much courage, even though so much things, and sometimes a lot of little things come, little obstacles for her put in there, and still say, come through. I love you so much.
Love you so much. And you are in my heart.
Yes, same. Very good. It's this that these people sometimes they see and they're asking, and I say, your eyes are cloudy, if you don't see, This is the Buddha emerging. How you can give it such a lowly title. You see? It's very good. Very nice. Thank you. Dear Mooji, I'm writing to you to report how easy my life has become since 4 years ago when I first heard you. I feel so much gratitude and love towards life and towards you, who has showered so much clarity into this heart. Before, I was in distress and had to take some strong medication, as my doctor said I had some illness that affected my nervous system for lifelong. The situation nowadays has changed drastically. Through this clarity and truth, the doctor said I am recovered. I am just taking some herbs and no medication at all. I was taking 4 pills a day that made me feel completely asleep, tired and depressed. I want to tell all the people who has been diagnosed with some mental disturbance they can recover through self-discovery, with patience, trust in God, and love and self-inquiry. Hip hip hooray. Dear Mooji, now I am completely recovered. I feel fresh, full of life, full of even energy that does not go up and down. Love is underlying all my activities, actions, and thoughts. So much gratitude, so much peace, so much love inside this body. Om Shanti 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 Uma. P.S. I forgot to say that the one who was sick was gone first. As Mooji says, even the devil, illness, is serving truth. It was a stepping stone towards freedom itself. Isn't it? And I love to read letters like this because there are many people who are prescribed or who are diagnosed, and sometimes like they have now some illness lifelong. What a horrible thing to tell someone. There's nothing we can do about this. It's lifelong. I said, oh, get stuffed. I am not interested in that. I don't believe that at all. Because especially sometimes in mental disorders and so on. And look, the inquiry brings you out of it and just somehow brings these states of depression. Sometimes depression is going to help you to find the truth. Difficulties in your life, difficult family situations, feelings of rejection, pain, physical, mental, emotional pain, psychological pain, all these things are going to come to somehow facilitate your awakening in some form or other. We don't wake up on chocolate-flavored experiences. Sometimes it's tough things, You go through some pain. You feel the pain of separation, the pain of even a sense of being rejected. All these things, they are part of what you can turn things around, or you can make them sink your ship. It's up to you how you use your intelligence. You see, I'm so happy for that. Last one. Beloved precious Master Mooji, Namaste. Thank you so much for being. Thank you for making your satsangs available through internet for free. What a precious gift and blessing. I have been in all satsangs this year through internet, many more than once, and have been with you through YouTube for many years. Thank you for reading my letter on August the 31st. As you read my letter, your divine presence was felt so strongly here that this heart burst into tears and wept much in joy and gratitude, and not knowing for the next 3 days. Thank you. I long to be with you physically in satsang. Such traveling seems not possible for me. The consciousness that I am is ready to be only God. Please, dear Mooji, if it is possible, through internet, to finish off any ego left, any separation left here, I implore you to do so. Sometimes in daily life situations, doubts arises and fear also. This month will be the fifth move in 4 years, and I watch doubt, asking people for advice and for help. This consciousness longs to allow life to unfold on its own and to rest in nothingness and to not interfere or endeavor to cause things to happen out of fear and doubt. Please help me to be all the way home right now, beloved Master. In deepest gratitude and love for you and all. Rubia Ratna Nelson, British Columbia, Canada. Very nice. It is God alone who can put inside your heart the conviction or the urge to somehow stimulate or inspire you to go all the way for home. Only that power can do it. And why should it not do it? Because it is enough that it's a big start that it brought you to a place that is not putting further obstacles in front of you, but rather to show you how shallow they can be when seen in the pure light of the self. Left to your mind imagines, exaggerates things which are unreal. But if there is some earnestness or longingness inside your heart for truth, then the whole universe supports your awakening. Sometimes I play a little game just for fun inside myself. I said, if I had to choose a team, a team for awakening. I have to amuse myself sometimes. And I said, I look around and I sort of see, who would I have on my team? Who would I have? Yeah. If we went into the forest for, a month, would anybody come out as a person? You see? Like we all seem to come into this forest of existence. We came from him. And it seems as though we're meant to move through this forest of life with all its ups and downs, you see, and then come out at the other end, liberated. But somewhere inside, we started building camps and making all kinds of stuff and forgot why we are here, But not everybody. I love to be in the company of beingness, where truth is the only truth is the language. Love is the climate. Understanding is the currency. Because it has to be with such a in such an environment that the beings, they must flower. They must come to fruition, to flower. Otherwise, what the hell is this all about, this life? Really, I am asking seriously, what is it about? Isn't it to simply come here, make a few shillings, eat a lot of food, put on weight, have a car, have a house, make reputations, develop some reputation amongst foolish people. And then vacate the premises. It's got to be more than that, isn't it? It's got to be more than that. It's got to be more than that. And some people, they know it. They've come to see it's got to be more than that. These things are fine. They're our toys. But not worth exchanging your freedom for them. I want to tell all the friends who are joining us through internet that you are very, very much part of this energy field. You're very much here, Nothing separates us, not even a camera separates us. You're not in the next room. We're all in the same space, undivided space. Okay. Thank you. Very good. Mashwan. I feel the Lord say now, I am with you for all time. Just turn to me, he says, and you'll know this beyond even conviction. Okay, let's have some music. Somebody was going to come. I heard something like that. It's true? Okay. Leave it there. I'm very much looking forward to it. Yes.
And everyone can sing with us. Also everyone at home. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramana. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ram. Arunachala. 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 Om Shri Mooji ji. Arunachala. 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 Om Namo. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva. Arunachala. Arunachala. Arunachala Mahadev. Arunachala. 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 Om Namo. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ram. Arunachala. 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 Om Namo. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ram. Arunachala. 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 Shri Shri Mooji ji. Arunachala, 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 Arunachala. Om Shri Satguru Mooji ji ki jai.
Om Shri Satguru Ramana ki, Papa Ji ki, Shri Buddha ki, Shri Krishna ki, Shri Christ ki, Shri Anandamayi Ma ki, Shri Nisargadatta Maharaj ki, Shri Yogi Ram Surat Kumar ki, Shri Mahadevaki ki, Shri Ram ki, Sahaja ki.